the Dreamcast. Wow, has it really been 10 years already? You know, I still remember the day that I walked into a Toys R Us and I picked one up off the stack and grabbed a copy of Soul Calibur and, you know, being a Sonic fan, a copy of Sonic Adventure as well. And wow, what a ride. It's really no question that the Dreamcast is my favorite console of all time. And since this is a special occasion, I'd like to take the short time that we have to give you an example of why people talk about this console with such great respect and nostalgia. First, I want to give you a quick history, and then I'm going to talk about my favorite games for the system. You know, it's kind of ironic, really. Back when I was a kid, I looked at a calendar and I saw that someday there would be a September 9th, 1999. 9999. With such a strange day like that, something is bound to happen on it. But what would it be? Would it be world peace? The cure for cancer? The end of days? Who knew? But you know, sure enough, Sega announced that November 1998 they would release the Dreamcast, their newest system. And it'll be released in the US on, yeah, you guessed it, September 9th, 1999. 9999. Screw world peace! This is what I'm talking about! For the next 2 years after that, Sega produced some of the most finest, some of the most original games that they have ever made. They also have floated around a lot of innovative ideas, such as cell shading, online play out of the box, and virtual memory units, which allowed you to see the memory on the memory card. And they also played around with simulated life games like Seaman, which uses this strange microphone right here that looks like someone tore the nose off a poor Muppet. Yet even with great games and fresh, innovative technology, Sega still couldn't defeat their bad history with the Saturn. And with the shadow of the PS2 looming just over the horizon, they couldn't convince gamers to buy the system. And sadly, January of 2001, Sega announced that March of that year they would stop production of the Dreamcast. In the end, the Dreamcast was only around for 2 years, and Sega had produced some of the finest games that they possibly could for it. Though the Dreamcast may be gone, its influence still exists today. The Dreamcast was the first console to provide internet function right out of the box. I believe my buddy Peter Moore, the president of Sega of America when the Dreamcast launched, said it best. It was with great pride that with our Sega sports games in particular, that we ushered in the era of connected, interactive entertainment. I don't think it is an overstatement to say that the Dreamcast and its online network laid the ground for what we all take for granted today. Online gameplay, linking innumerable gamers from around the world to play, compete, and collaborate, as well as enabling new content to be delivered in addition to that which is delivered on the disc. Well said, Peter. The Dreamcast is gone, but its spirit still moves on within the new consoles, which have a lot to be thankful for. So now that you know some of the backstory, let's get started. My Dreamcast actually isn't in this box. It's actually right down here, right where it belongs. Alright, enough jibber-jabbing. Let's get to the real reason why the Dreamcast is remembered. Not because of the history or the technology, but because of the great games. Alright, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. I think I hear some size 14s. Alright, man, you ready?
Always ready.
Pull up a chair. Thank you. Here we go.
I actually arrived late to the Dreamcast scene, but I actually got to play some of the big titles as they came out. I got to do some head-to-head battles on Soul Calibur, to the 4-player brawls on Power Stone 2, and racing my friends on Hydro Thunder was also phenomenal. For me at the time, one of the most amazing things was actually online console gaming. The Dreamcast is one of the first consoles I ever had that allows you to go online and play multiplayer with your friends. my favorite had to be Alien Front Online, where invading alien forces went head-to-head against Earth armor in tank versus walker combat.
Alright, so now that we're all settled in here, let's just talk about like my favorite games for the Dreamcast. Well, it's kind of hard because there are a lot of really great games on the Dreamcast right now. But I managed to like collect 5, which right now are probably my top favorite games for it. So, shall we get started? Alright, number 5 happens to be Soul Calibur. Now, no, there are a lot of people out there who would say 5. Shouldn't it be higher than that? Well, you know what? This is my list, and it's number 5. So there. Soul Calibur has been called by many fans and critics alike to be the best fighting game ever made. And you know what? They make a pretty good point. Now, Soul Calibur is a fighter that is so tuned and refined that anyone can pick up the game and have fun. Yet if a person chooses to master it, then they'll find a deep fighting game that they'll find themselves playing for many years. The graphics, the gameplay, even the single-player challenges are the highest quality you can find for a fighting game. This game not only appeals to fans of fighters, but I believe that no Dreamcast collection is complete without a copy of Soul Calibur. My number 4 game stars a speedy little blue rodent in which Sega is best known for. That's right, Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure achieved something that no 3D Sonic game has been able to come close to. Never before or since has Sonic Team created a 3D Sonic game that captures the blinding speed of the 2D titles, but on a 3D plane. Sonic Adventure is an amazingly fun game that takes Sonic and his friends across many different lands. The ever-changing environments keep the game feeling fresh hour after hour. You also have 5 other characters besides Sonic to play as. You have Knuckles, Tails, Amy, E102 Gamma, and some stupid cat, each with their own storyline that intertwines around Sonic's storyline that makes a pretty solid story overall. And while there's some characters that maybe aren't as fun to play as this thing, but you know what? These slower moments are overshadowed by the overall quality of the game. I also like how Sonic Team tried to create a storyline that tied many of the previous games, all which had pretty ambiguous storylines, together, and also tried to explain some things, such as why do we have to protect these Chaos Emeralds? What happened to Knuckles' tribe who protected the Emeralds? You know, stuff like that. It made it pretty interesting and made it fun to try and follow along, even if the story wasn't, you know, phenomenal per se. It was still nice to have a Sonic game with a storyline that still kind of felt like it mattered.
You go out on a ledge whenever you try to take a 2-dimensional game and move it to 3-dimensional games. And it's fantastic how well they actually did for it. And in the midst of all the other stuff, actually trying to incorporate the story just as Cameron said. Whereas before you had to get the story out of the book.
There was a book?
Yeah, that's how you learn to do the Super Spin Dash.
Talking about the instruction manual? Who's the instruction manual? You had one button.
Right, me, I'm like the only guy who does, okay?
With fun gameplay that has yet to be matched by any of the current Sonic games, many varied environments and characters, and you know, nice little nods to previous Sonic titles, make Sonic Adventure one of the best Sonic games ever, and one of the finest Dreamcast games you can own.